Hi, in this video tutorial, we'll look at how you can manage your websites. Your new website system comes with a back-end portal which allows you to customize and modify various aspects of your website from a consolidated and user-friendly interface. To access this, you simply add \manage at the end of your website URL. Okay, so first we log in using our username and password, which is the same username and password you received when you initially got your website. And during this tutorial, you'll notice that there are some tabs that will be of no use to us, but we'll point those out for you as we go along. Okay, let's get started with the Settings tab. If we look at default pages, this is one that we can ignore. So let's go to Managers. So we see that this particular person is the contact person for your websites. All we need to do here is to click on the Manage and Orders boxes. This will ensure that the contact person will be the one notified of all new orders coming in, and they can manage the information. And that's all we really need to do in this window. So if you do make changes, you do want to be sure to click on Save Changes. Okay, so next we can go into Contact Details. Here, we want to verify that all of our information is correct. This is the information that will show up at the bottom of your home page, and if someone clicks on the contact selection at the bottom of your home page. So let's just take a look at a home page and what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to open up a home page here, and if we scroll down, you'll see here at the bottom of your home page the address and information is shown. So if I click on Contact, the information is also shown in here. One more thing to point out, here's the social media icons that you can also fill in information on your management site to link people to your social media. Okay, so let's go back to our management page. And again, we just want to make sure and verify that all of the information is correct. If I want an individual's name to appear on the website, I would enter that here. And then we want to make sure we verify the country, state, city, number and street, zip code, telephone number, fax, email address, and a no reply email address, which we'll explain in a minute. And here is where you would put your social media information and links so that they all show up on your home page. Okay, so let's go back up here to the email addresses. So the first email address is what will appear on your contact page. So you want to make sure that that is correct. And the no reply email address will be the email address that, let's say you want to send an order acknowledgement to your customer and you don't want them to really reply to that. So this is the email address you would use for that. If you happen to know your latitude and longitude, which would be kind of amazing, go ahead and enter that, but you don't have to. Okay, so we just want to make sure that if we did make any changes, we go back up to the top and click Save Changes. Okay, so now we go back to Settings and we see Change Log, and this is pretty self-explanatory. Here you'll see any changes that you've made to the management site logged here. Okay, and now we'll move to e-commerce, and we'll go to e-commerce settings. Okay, now this is where we're going to choose how we want to accept payments for online orders. So I can select in payment method here, I can select on account, credit card, and you can just ignore pay on collection, that is COD, but a lot of people don't use that anymore. So I would select either on account or credit card or both, depending on how you want to accept payments from your customers. And I just want to verify that the country does say United States. Now I'm going to select my credit card provider, which will either be PayPal or Authorize.net. You cannot select both. You would have to choose one or the other. Now before going any further, it's good to point out that you do need to have a merchant account set up with whichever option you choose. If you're not set up with a merchant account, it's usually very easy to do so, and you can just go to PayPal or Authorize.net and get set up with a merchant account fairly quickly. So, okay, if I select PayPal, I see that the PayPal details show up at the bottom of the page. And PayPal would be a preferred method of payment because it allows you to accept payments via PayPal as well as any major credit card. So I just fill in the email address that's tied to my PayPal merchant account down here, and that's it. Now this is very, very important. If I want to start accepting live orders and payments, I must select live for the PayPal mode. Sandbox is only used for testing purposes, so you must select live in order to be up and running online. Now let's go back here and say we wanted to select authorize.net instead. Then the authorize.net details will show up at the bottom. And again, I would just fill in my information and again select live in both boxes to make sure I can accept orders and payments online live. And the transaction method would be either authorization or capture. If you select authorization, the transaction will be sent for authorization, but it will not automatically be submitted for settlement. These transactions would be captured manually. If you select capture, you would need to provide an authorization code, and these transactions will be submitted for settlement. Okay, so if we go back up here and we look at the minimum order value, we would just leave that at 0 and the checkout settings at show. Now again, if we made any changes here, we would want to click Save Changes. Okay, so now let's go to View Orders. This is where we can view all of our orders we have received through our distributor website and our end buyers websites. So if we wanted to search for orders during a specific time frame, we could just pull down the calendar and put the dates that you want to do your search in. Then if we wanted to export all of the order information into an Excel spreadsheet, we would click on Download All and it will download the spreadsheet for you. You may want to use this information for sorting orders by your customer's company name, as there is no place to do that task on this page. Now all of these tabs here are for different filtering options for viewing your orders. If I select all, that will show any orders that, even if something was left in someone's shopping cart, those would show up. Even if a customer didn't place an order all the way through, this will show up. Everything will show up and if I filter it by all. Completed is any orders that went through to the very end, payments were made, and a customer has completed an order and it's waiting for you to approve. Incomplete will be any orders that maybe somebody left in their basket and didn't want to go further with the order, or if the address wasn't filled out properly. So this would be an incomplete order, but it will still show up. Canceled we can just ignore because canceled orders are not tracked in this system. But if orders do need to be canceled, you should contact Aprinta. You could go in and view the order and put canceled in the notes, but it will not show up in the cancel area, so we can just ignore this button. Archive is where we can store or file orders. You could archive orders once orders are completed, and if you wanted to close an order out. So if I have canceled orders or completed orders, I could also store those here. Okay, so I'm going to select all for now, and my list of orders are all here. So the ID number is the order number that's generated automatically. Then you have your order date. Status, not submitted would mean orders are sitting in a cart somewhere that haven't been completed. And if I have archived an order, it would show here in parentheses. If an order has been placed and a customer has selected the form of payment, what they chose would be here too. So it could say on account or authorize.net or PayPal here. Then the destination will show the customer's name and the destination it is shipping to. Then we have the total amount of the order. And here, if you click the View button, you can look at the details of the order. All of the information will come up and I can preview it and review it prior to approving the order. And I can print it or archive it as well. I can also enter any notes I might have on the order. I would click Update to ensure my notes are saved if I did enter any. Okay, so now once I've reviewed the order, I need to click the Approve button in order for the order to go to Aprinta to be processed, produced, and shipped. So now once I click this button, a lot is going to happen. The payment for your customer is triggered. If they paid by credit card, the transaction will take place. Also, the order will go to Aprinta for processing, production, and shipping. And Aprinta will then send you an email acknowledgement with the amount owed to Aprinta and the order number for reference. So if you're on account with us, you would have the terms that you have set up with us. If you're paying by credit card, you could then go to your PayPal or Authorized.net site and make payment there. And we've set it up to automatically give you your standard 40% margin, so Aprinta will charge you 60% of the total order amount. Okay, so moving on to the production status column. Not approved means the order has not been approved yet. Many of these show up as not approved because this is a tutorial site and it's a test site. But I do show one order being approved on the second page here, and then showing some with supplier. So with supplier will be the last status you see in this system, because once the order is approved, it goes into Aprinta's production system. So once the customer places their order, they'll get an auto email saying thank you for your order, and it includes all of the order details. And you, the distributor, also get an email notification notifying you of that order as well. Then, once it goes into Aprinta's production system, and once the order is shipped, an automatic email will go out to the customer and one to you with the tracking information. Okay, and customer view is nothing. We can ignore that. So let's go to sales tax. Here, you would need to deselect or unselect the states that you are not responsible for collecting sales tax. So only the state that you are collecting for is showing. If you live in a state where there is no state tax, or you have a tax exemption, you can select this store is tax exempt. And again, be sure to save any changes when you're done making your changes on this page. Okay, so we can move on to products now. And here you can search for any products. You can type in a keyword. So if I put t-shirts in, a drop-down window will show up, and I could select from here or go to the search button down here, and all the t-shirts we offer will come up. Or I could match exact keywords or select by vendor, or I could scroll down and see many more filter options. Okay, so that's all about what we can do on this here page. So now let's go to, well, we can skip over the inquiries tab because we do not offer inquiries on the websites. So let's go to contacts. So if I click on customers, a list of anyone who has registered on a site or placed an order will come up here. You do not need to approve individual registrations because those are automatic. And when a customer places an order, it will automatically register them. So you'll see the account number is not here because we realize you might have different systems you work within. So if you wanted to, you can click on edit and then add an account number in for your customers if you like. And you can sort this list by the headers if you like, and you can see when the customer placed an order or registered for the first time. Pending registration we can ignore because you do not have to approve any pending registrations. And let's go to download customers. We can download a list of the website customers into a spreadsheet. You might use that information. And the last two, customer uploads and suppliers, we could just ignore those. Okay, now to the appearance tab. Product listings we can ignore, but let's take a look at the email customization. So we already have some email templates in here. And if I look at template selected, I see orders received, and I also see that the user selected is store managers. Now this is going to be the template of the email that will come to you when an order has been placed. So here's the subject line for the email, and if I click on preview template, I can see the contents of the email that will be sent to me. So I'll be able to look at all of the details regarding that order. Now, if I click on the user selected drop-down, I see store clients. So I select that, And now this is the template of the order acknowledgement email that's sent to my customers when they place an order. So let's preview that. Okay, so now if I want to customize the emails sent, I can see all the internal links that are embedded into the template. It's all the crazy stuff over here on the left side. But if I wanted to add text to the email, I could enter it, but I would be very careful because you don't want to get in there and mess up the links to the order information. But let's say I'm feeling a little brave today and I want to add a little something to the email like you'll receive an email with your tracking information as soon as your order ships. So I can go into this area right here in the middle of all the madness and type what I want to put in there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, then I could select Preview Template and I can see that the type is in there now. Okay, and I can save this as my template and we should be all done here. Okay, so we really are done here because that was the last tab. The Content tab is nothing, so we can just ignore that one. And that brings us to the end of this video tutorial. So as always, if you have any questions at all, you can contact Aprinta directly and we'll be happy to help you. Thanks for watching.